6 times a billion is...
You know, I always struggled to focus in class. 2 minutes in, my brain would wander off. Too wired for motion instead of lectures. Wired for bunny hopping, slide cancelling, rocket jumping, wall scaling, rope dropping. And all the ways video games let you move like nothing else can. The subtle art of movement in video games isn't just a mechanic, it's a language, a rhythm, a way to connect with the world around you. I can't imagine Team Fortress 2 without rocket jumping trolls, market gardening the hell out of noobs, like if it was an art form. Or Apex Legends without a Predator Wraith main, zipping into rooms, ledge sliding, super jumping, changing angles like some sort of a speed demon. And speaking of speed demons, I can't imagine the internet without this clip. But before we dive into some of the most addictive movement mechanics ever made, let's set a few rules. What I'm talking about here is pure character movements. No shenanigans, no teleportation, and no vehicles. Jetpacks? We'll count those as an extension of the character's body. And with that in mind, let's talk mechanics. Some of these were designed and some were accidents, but all of them changed how games are played. Rocket jumping, for example, it didn't begin as a feature, it began as an accident. Back in Quake, players realized something strange. If you aimed at the ground, jumped, and fired at the right moment, the explosion didn't just hurt you, but it also propelled you forward. And that single discovery changed how players understood space. HP bars stopped being just your life energy, it became a resource, a currency that you can spend, or a turbo booster meter, as Expetu likes to say. I know you probably never thought of it that way, but I'm damn sure you felt it. Rocket jumping worked because it was dangerous. Mess up the timing and you might die. Misjudge the angle and you lose half your health. But get it done right, and you broke the map. And that's why probably half the speedrunners use this movement technique. You basically traded health for intense zooming action, turning yourself into a human projectile. And the mechanic was handed down from Quake to Team Fortress Classic and then Team Fortress 2, where it stopped being just a trick and became a personality. Soldier wasn't just fast or precise or smooth, but he was all of the above. Gamers with hundreds and maybe thousands of play hours could turn the ground, the wall, and even your face into a launch pad. And they weren't just using that mechanic for movement. To them, it became a statement, a play style. You're not just taking the stairs or playing it safe in the background, sniping people. You were announcing your arrival from the fucking sky. That's why, in my opinion, market gardening didn't just reward accuracy, but it also rewarded audacity. No, stop it, not that one. Soldier, or Trolldier for the educated few, became an archetype for the airborne aggressor with balls of steel. There's more. Like-minded, freedom-loving players took it even further. So far, in fact, that combat started to feel optional. In some of these communities, killing wasn't the point anymore. Movement was. Mappers and rocket jumping enthusiasts gravitated towards each other, building spaces not to fight, but to fly through them with some of the craziest speeds known in the gaming world. And that obsession with speed, that desire to stay airborne just a tiny bit longer, to touch the ground, but to never let it slow you down. That is where bunny hopping comes in. As a form of quiet rebellion against friction itself, in Quake, players discovered something that should be illegal. If you jumped again in the exact same frame that you touched the ground and angled your movement using a technique called air strafing just the right amount, the game didn't slow you down but actually boosted your speed. It's really funny when you realize that you move faster sideways than you do forward. Suddenly, movement wasn't about holding W anymore. It became a rhythm of left, right, right. In Counter-Strike 1.6 and Source, bunny hopping became a flex, not because it was useful, and trust me it was, but because it was hard. You'd hear it before you saw it. The soft tap 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 of jumps getting closer. Your screen shakes, a blur passes your crosshair, and suddenly you're dead while wondering what just violated you. And then came B-hop maps, long, sterile corridors of pure movement. No guns, no enemies. Just speed, flow, and crushing sound of failures. Fall once and back to start. Mess up the strafe and momentum is gone. Hundreds hundreds of retries for one perfect run, shaving milliseconds of your lapses at a time. And somehow, people loved it, because bunny hop racing was about winning as much as it is about mastery. It's undeniable that even in normal matches, it gives you advantage, especially to get to favorable positions faster than your enemy, and sink in your character's body with a system that was never meant to be played that way. Players like Foon mastered this technique to a point where he could even bunny hop on servers where Z-Block, a plugin meant to counter B-hopping, was installed. He was so skilled that even through Z-Block, he could go out middle through our connector like a speed demon. Some games tried to kill B-hopping, probably because skill issue intensifies. Or maybe devs just hated fun and tried to counter it by implementing speed caps, stamina systems, and yet it survived. In Source Engine and all the games that operate on it, in Titanfall, and in Apex Legends. Just look at this clip of a pro using a character called Octane, who has special abilities that allow him to inject G-Fuel directly into his heart, giving him sonic speed fits. Stack on top of that bunny hopping, a cracked aim and zero fear, and look what happens. I mean, what can you do against this? Seriously, what do you do?
There's no way, dude. There's a time to fucking circle around like that, just no sense of Nord. And then randomly shoots to get a perfect shot on me. That's not Take me now, Jesus, please.
And because once players learned that speed can be earned, not given, they never forgot it. Bunny hopping taught us something important. That movement isn't just how you get somewhere, it's who you are when you get there. Hey, liking the video? Then help us blow it up. Let's get this joint rolling, man, come on. Subscribe and hit the like button and tell us what you think. Thank you. Surfing. Well, surfing came from the same place as bunny hopping. Players asking a simple question. What if the floor was optional? Surfing was never meant to exist. No developer really sat down and said, let's make players ride triangles at 300 units per second. But Mouvement was making a map. And like any ambitious kid would do in the 2000s era, so probably back home from school, Mouvement created a custom map called KA Killbox, a knifing arena, with skating, machine gun turrets, and infinite ways to have fun with your friends. And it was about 21 years ago. Whoa, am I getting old. On this very roof that you see in front of you, when one of Mouvement's friends discovered a movement mechanic that will inspire thousands of players to surf, and the rest was history. Now allow me to admit that I'm not really good at this, I'm actually average at best. And personally, it's the beautiful maps that attract me to surf. Don't get me wrong, I really like the sensation of flowing through space and letting my weary mind worry about nothing for a few minutes. But, and I dare say, the surfing community mappers are on a whole other level. A lot of the artwork that they make is beyond description really, but I'll do my best. Maps the like of Surf Kitsune, Surf Kitsune, or however you pronounce it, are filled with beautiful neon colors that when zooming through them, induce a trance in me, like if progress in them became a race towards some higher truth. Some maps introduce different biomes, from snow to sci-fi-like maps, and even underwater worlds. Stuff that's really wondrous to behold. And as much expression mapping surfing maps presents, the act of gliding through them also provides much freedom to express yourself, be it the shortcuts you take or the sliding direction you choose as you create your own surfing style. In short, the world became your oyster and you're just there to glide on it. And eventually players wanted more, and quite frankly, a little less of a learning curve. And once developers realized that players loved the movement mechanics, and I mean really loved them, they stopped being an accident and became a promise. And that's when parkour enters the picture. I can still remember the first time I used a wall run in Prince of Persia, or bounced on a chandelier while slow-mo shooting the shit out of Asian men in Stranglehold. Some games like Mirror's Edge, Titanfall and Dying Light asked a different question. What if movement wasn't just a way to get somewhere, but the entire point? Same as our bunny hopping, rocket jumping, map surfing friends. Well, walls stopped being boundaries and they became routes. Vaulting lets you carry speed forward, wall running lets you steal momentum from gravity, and slides changed into jumps and jumps into climbs made a genre of movement games. Every surface had potential, and every mistake costed you some of that flow. But get it right, and every motion you make bleeds into the next. No pauses, no hesitation, and relentless execution. Take Assassin's Creed, for example. Strip away the story, strip away the combat, and what's left? Well, a city that's designed to be climbed, and roofs that become highways. Crowds become camouflage, and verticality now isn't optional, it's the point, dancing elegantly through historical buildings from the rooftops of Paris to the highest towers in Industrial Revolution age London. And then there's Mirror's Edge, no minimap, no distraction, just color, speed, and momentum. Red objects aren't objective, they're more like invitations. The entire world teaches you how to move without saying a word. And once you learn the language, you stop seeing walls, you see routes. Titanfall took the idea and strapped a gun to it. Wall runs, slides, double jumps, all while fighting at full speed. Standing still wasn't just dangerous, it was a mistake. And movement wasn't an option, it was survival. And even if you survived dwelling on the ground like a normie plebe, the game still kind of felt wrong, like if it wasn't meant to be traveled through like that. I mean, for goodness sake, the very tutorial teaches you how to wall run. One dash, one wall grab, one jump, and that's it. No randomness, no shortcuts. Every death is your fault, and every success is earned. Then there's Hollow Knight. At first, movement feels limited, heavy and grounded, until it doesn't. Wall jumps and air dashes and bounce mechanics are slowly and gradually introduced, and by the end, traversal itself feels like combat, and combat feels like a dance. In 2D, there is nowhere to hide. Your inputs are exposed, and your timing is everything. Across both 2D and 3D, parkour taught the players the same lesson. Movement isn't about getting from point A to point B, it's about the choices you make in between. And once a game gives you that kind of freedom, taking it away feels impossible. Games give us a lot of constraints. Walls, gravity and stamina, but movement is how we push back against them. It's eternal balance between discipline and imagination to be truly free while doing it. Hello, this is the Gaming Sensei, and I make video essays, mostly about gaming topics. So please, if you don't mind, rocket jump on the like button and b-hop on the subscribe check marker. Ring the bell, and remember, they can take away our parkour, but they can never take our freedom!